I'm starting off first. Today's Rosh Chodesh, Parshas Shkolim, and I'm starting off with a question which I think is important, and I believe that most people didn't think too much about it. Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. That's almost self-explanatory because obviously in Adar we have Purim, and Purim is a happy time. So let's party early. Let's start early. Okay? So that's what we understand. It's a happy month because there's a happy holiday over there. And that's why we're happy. Then we have a Gemara, and the Gemara says, Kishem, that your Michas Adamar V'Simcha. So when it comes Chodesh Av, Mimatim B'Simcha. Then we play down, we diminish the simcha that we have. So the simple understanding of it is just like this month's mode is happy, so that month's mode is sad. But what does it mean that it's a time to be happy? What are we supposed to be happy about right now? What does it mean? What's happening this month that makes us be happy? And probably even more important question, and this is probably as elusive in the secular world as the fountain of youth. What makes a person happy? When does a person feel happy? Anybody want to answer that question?
When he understands a Taisvis.
The end of a Shreya Taisvis. That's good. I think that I can't say anything better than that. That's an absolutely great answer. It's even correct. But Arya, you cheated because you didn't answer the question. You just said that when this happens, I'll be happy. Why? Why does that make you happy? That's the question. What is there that makes you happy? Before he says, I just want to put into the picture something which I thought about many years ago. In America, on January 1st, they want to call it December 31st, in Times Square, that's a place where a lot of mitzvahs are not done. So they drop this big ball, and there's an unbelievable amount of people that come there every year. I'm not really sure how many, but it's more than 1 million. We'll just leave it at that. And they're all super happy and super excited. What are they happy about, and are they really happy? Okay, Alan, what did you want to say?
I said that happiness is when one is contented with his lot.
Again, you have answered the question correct, but why? No, it's you and Aryeh both answered correctly, but you didn't say the formula. You just said these are occasions when it happens that happiness kicks in. You're both right. You're correct. It's not good enough for me. What?
The answer why is because you're not sad. You're not unhappy.
Is that what happiness is? Just the lack of being sad? Well, we have many people that if that was what it would be, they'd be happy, because there are many people that are just, they're not happy, not sad. They're okay. Mel, you want to give it a try? What?
You have to be talking that Hashem is taking care of all their problems.
Yes, this is again.
You see a big problem like what happened with Haman in Shushan Abira, and you realize Hashem can take you down from the lowest up to the lowest depths up to the highest level in a moment. And you have that be talking. You realize you live with that. You're happy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Again, this is good. But all these answers are good. Anybody, Zev, you want to say something?
All right. We're not supposed to be happy until the base of Mikdash is rebuilt. When we see the Ahavas going Gadol, then we can be happy.
I want to ask you a question. Did you ever hear of a halacha that b'samachta b'chagecha, that is a mitzvah simchas achag?
True. Yeah, of course. But I mean, I'm wondering.
There is no full happiness until that comes.
Okay.
But there's no complete happiness. I'm going to start off with a maral, and this maral is really amazing. Children easily become happy. And the maral, I heard this from our yeshiva many, many years ago, probably about 45 years ago. I never saw the maral inside. I never looked for it. I just believe that it says it someplace in the maral. He says the reason why is because when the baby was inside the mother's womb and was learning Torah, it was happy. And happiness wasn't so far away in his memory. So it doesn't take much to get him to be happy again. Now, I would like to explain that a little bit. Somebody over here said something which is a key. When a person is content, is fulfilled, he's happy. So there's fulfillment. If you worked your way through a taisus and you think you understand it, that is done a complete day's work. You're ready to go on vacation and do it again tomorrow, right? Yeah, that brings you contentment because you have filled your potential. Happiness is when a person is shalom. So when a person, as Alan said, when you're happy with your lot, so you're shalom, you're good, you're happy. What could be better? And when a person, as Aryeh says, understands that whatever Hashem does, that's for the best, and I don't have to worry about it. Leave the driving to us. Let HaKadosh Baruch Hu run the world. It's not his problem. I don't have to make a president. I don't have to make a Rosh Memshalah. I don't have any of these problems. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's problem. My problem is what's the pshat and taisus. That's my problem. But a person is content, then he's happy. That's the first thing. So there's something about Purim and that spills over into the month of Adar, which makes us feel full, complete. And that gives us happiness. There's something that happened in the month of Av that makes us incomplete. And that brings us to sadness. That's first. I heard from my Rosh Yeshiva, he should be well. There's a Gemara that says something. Person came to a chasana and he saw the people were all very rowdy and excited above what was the proper level of happiness. And he said, what are you guys so happy about? You're all going to die. And that subdued the crowd. It wouldn't have subdued me because I don't understand what does it have to do with anything. So Marashiva explained as follows. The reason why people are sad is because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. I have a job to do, it didn't work out. And they're sad because the sand in the hourglass is running and I may not complete what I'm supposed to do. How do we beat mortality and become immortal? We have children. And vicariously through our children, we become immortal and we live for eternity. So the comp to sadness is getting married. I will not die because I will have children. So even though the person himself may die, but he will live on. And that's the simcha of getting married, that a person has beat the system, so to speak, and he becomes immortal. That's step number one. What happens? Sometimes we have something and sometimes we lose it. When we get it back, we're unbelievably happy. A person has a pen, cost him $1, and he loses it and he can't find it. When he finds it, so to speak, that pen is worth to him $2 because he lost it and he got it back and he appreciates it. Zev, if you have a tool that you can't find and then you find it, it makes your day, right?
Very much.
Very much, okay? And when you makes your day, so your wife is happy also. Very much, right?
Sometimes I try.
Okay, but this is what life is all about. So somehow we start off the Purim with shkolim. What does shkolim have to do with Purim? So we know mashmim al shkolim be'adar, that we start collecting them. Aryeh, that's not your job. You start collecting the shkolim, and we're worried about the karbanos for the next year. And we know that the shkolim have to do with Purim because Haman had the 10,000 shkolim, and the Gemara says, Rasha, Avrohom Avinu already beat you at this because he gave the shkolim in advance, just like you gave shkolim in advance, which is a very strange. What does his shkolim have to do with his shkolim? And what are the shkolim that we're talking about? And I want to tell you something I want to mention today. Why dafka did we give chatzi shkolim? We could have given copper coins. Is there any reason why we gave a chatzi shekel that's made out of kesef? That's a question that I want to share with you. And the Sfasemis asked that question. But before that, I want to tell you a medrash. Klal Yisrael are downtrodden. And the medrash says, Iftiach HaKadosh Baruch Hu LaMoshe Rabbeinu Kishekoirim Parshas Shkolim Zoykef Roishon Shel Yisrael. Klal Yisrael will stand up straight. That'll give us vitality to face what's coming. What's so exciting about the Shkolim? This is the question. This is the question. I heard something unbelievably moving. And I believe that this really needs a lot of thought. The Nes of Hanukkah happened. Why? Because the Maccabees said, we will not stand for this. We're going to fight for what's right. And we had a grassroots revolution in Ruchnius. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we start with Pesach Shel Machat, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it happen in a full-blown, unbelievable miracle of Hanukkah. Klal Yisrael bought the Korban Pesach. We went out of Mitzrayim. What did we do? If I were to ask you, this is a historical question, which I believe everybody that's on this Zoom knows the answer to. When did the plan of saving Klal Yisrael in the Purim story happen? When did the seed of saving Klal Yisrael happen? At what point? And I'm going to tell you what I heard. Yechiel, you wanted to say something?
I was going to say Pesach, but it's fine. I'm listening.
No, that's true. That's true. But that's a date. But when did it happen? It happened at the Suda. When did we knock off Vashti? We knocked off Vashti at the Suda. What in the world is a good Jewish boy doing at this party? If you want to speak about a time when HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be designing a salvation for Klal Yisrael, when Klal Yisrael is at a party that's celebrating the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be creating the way out. That's unbelievable. Ruben, what do you say? You like that thought?
Yeah, never thought of it.
I never thought of it. Okay, that's why you're here. But what's the understanding? What could be the message? What are we supposed to take out of that? I'm going to share with you something which is an expression which is very modern, and I don't think that it's correct in Yiddishkeit in the world of parenting. Unconditional love. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves Klal Yisrael in spite of all of the things that we do, in spite of all of the Averas. Even when we're doing an Avera, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will design for us a way out. Isn't that comforting? Isn't that something to be happy about? That's an amazing thing. And this is an unbelievable point. Purim, we were down and out, and still HaKadosh Baruch Hu created an unbelievable miracle. The Svasemis writes, Haboicher, he doesn't say this word, Haboicher ba'amo Yisrael bi'avo. What does that mean? We say that in davening. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the simple explanation, HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose Klal Yisrael with his love for us. The Chassidim translated Haboicher ba'amo Yisrael be'ahava, and he gave us an ability to love him. We have a mitzvah, Ahavta Hashem Elokecha, to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How could HaKadosh Baruch Hu ask us to love him if we don't? And the answer to that question is, just like his love to us is unconditional, our love to him is also unconditional. This is the month of unconditional love. That's why Misha Nichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. Now, there's a famous barbed line from the Baron Leib Steinman. There was a bocher that came to him and said, I don't enjoy learning. So the veteran Gadol Ador says, you don't enjoy learning? There's nothing so enjoyable in the whole world as learning. How can you say I don't enjoy learning? So he says, I have no time in learning. So he said something like, if you would eat garlic a whole day, nothing would taste good. You do Averis a whole day, then you want that all of a sudden that your learning should be pleasant in your mouth? Of course, you can pervert your sense of taste. But learning is enjoyable. It's just that people are involved in other things that they tend to lose it. This is just like my mashal. There's classical music. Classical music means in any generation, at any time, people will enjoy it. Why won't people enjoy rock and roll in every generation? Because it's no good. You could train yourself to think that you like it. For some reason, you could train yourself to like whiskey. You could train yourself to like cigarettes. I don't know anybody who trained themselves to like chocolate. Anybody out there know somebody who trained somebody to like chocolate? The reason why chocolate is good is because it is good. You don't need a hesber on why chocolate is good. Tamura, oh, it is good. That doesn't mean that chocolate won't taste good, will always taste good. Depends what you ate beforehand. But it's good. This is part of our entry into Rosh Chodesh Adar, Parshas Shkolim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us kesef, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, give your machzah shekel, ha'osher lo yarbe, v'hadal lo yamit. The person could be the biggest Yireh Shamayim, the biggest Talmud Chacham. He has embedded in him the exact same amount of ability to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu as the Dal. the person who is a Jewish communist, the furthest away from even believing in religion, let alone Yiddishkeit, as a Yid, he has in his body the ability to love. This is what we celebrate. Now, a few people would be honest, say, if that's so, how come it's not so? Right? And I already answered the question. It is so. But it depends if you work on it. You have to polish it. You have to use it. You have to think about it. You have to think about it. You know, there's I heard this from Victor Miller once, many, many years ago. You make a bracha on the apple. And we thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the apple. So he said, so what do you think HaKadosh Baruch Hu for? The apple. Let's be mefaret. Do you like the texture? Do you like the crunch? You like the flavor? You like the color? Just think about all the things that go into that apple. And when you're going to stop and think about that, and look what HaKadosh Baruch Hu did for me, that will increase your love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But if you just woof it down and woof the bracha down, you're not going to give it any thought. You're not going to have this opportunity of connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu be maximized. You're going to miss out on an unbelievable opportunity. What does it mean that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says you'll have kesef and that'll be zoykei frosh b'nei Yisrael, kisisa frosh b'nei Yisrael, when we will be able to say we have it in us, we have the ability to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We will be b'simcha. We will be b'simcha. We're starting now, we're starting on Rosh Chodesh. Mishenichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. We are going to give our money, everybody the same amount, and it's going to be the kesef because we're giving. Why? B'nedivos halev. You know, it's very difficult when a person wants to, and this is unbelievable. You know, there's a appeal. Do somebody want to give $50, some guy $100, $200, and there's maybe social pressure that causes people to give more money, less money. The person gives more money, he gets recognition for it. The person does it. The person does it, and he does it b'simcha. But what? The person does it, he does it b'simcha. But when you're told exactly how much to give, they don't do it so much b'simcha. Why? Because you're lacking self-expression. People want to feel unique. Every single person wants to feel unique. And when you're just another number on the line, you feel like you're lacking. So how could it be that there's an adivas halev for everybody to give the same thing? Anyone want to answer that question?
I'll give it a try because there's a unity in it.
100%.
You're part of Klal Yisrael.
That's right. That's right. No, it's when we have there's a husband and wife, let's say shutfis, and each one gives equally. That's great. You're not trying to outdo your spouse in the group affair. Obviously, you'd like to show your spouse that you love your spouse, etc. I'm talking about as far as there's no competition. This is the group. Klal Yisrael comes together as a group, gives the money as a group, and we are happy with that. What did Haman say? Yesh ta'am echad mefuzar u'mefayrad bein ha'amim. Each one is out for themselves. What does Mordechai say? Lech k'nois kol ha'Yehudim. Let's gather them together. I want you to know something. I don't like to speak about politics, but it's a mazel that there's only 120 seats in the Knesset, because there's 140, we'd probably have 160 parties running, right? No, this is, we have such an unbelievable amount of lack of unity that we can't get our act together, right? This is a disaster, and I'm not speaking about politics right now, but this is symptomatic of a lack of fragmentation. And Purim, just think about it. Just 1 second. Purim, there's a mitzvah to give to Kol HaPoishit Yad. What's the idea? Anybody sticks out their hand, we give him money. Why? When your brother says, can I have some money, do you ask him, do you deserve it? No. The idea of Shalach Monas, Matonas Levyoinim, the Surah Purim that we have it, Mishpacha, we have it with communally in better times. We have it. So this is an idea that we're with the camaraderie between us, all of those mechitzas have fallen away. This is part of the beauty of Purim. The Ahava comes out. We feel b'shleimus. We are b'simcha. What happened by the Churban Abayis? Why was the Churban Abayis? Sinas Chinam. We didn't act as a group. We act as individuals. We were not thinking about our connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You know, I think about it many times in Av. I don't really have an answer for this question, but I'm going to tell you my thought. I don't have an answer. The Navi says, and we say this in the Kinnis on Tisha B'Av, that they put an idol in the Beis Hamikdash. I don't get it. I don't get it. Do you believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu or not? It seems to me the only way that you could do that is if you're not thinking. In other words, I find it difficult, and I'm just going to use this as an example. I grew up in America, that there were many war survivors, and they had this need to drive to shul on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, because you have to go to shul on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And it's more important for them to drive to shul than to fast at home. And it was very hard for me to wrap my head around this. What are they thinking? And the answer is, I know the answer, this is not a psychology class, but the answer is, in short, they're not. They're doing what means to them, not what's really important. That's the answer to the question. It's a fall back to some kind of a passion. The point of Adar is for us to realize that there's unconditional love. But the unconditional love, the proper thing for us is to reciprocate and show our unconditional love. The avodah that we have in this month is to be happy with that which HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us. It's to be happy to know that we have that relationship no matter what. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us unconditionally. Just because he loves us unconditionally, for all the modern people out there, that doesn't mean that he's not going to punish us. But the root of the punishment is because he loves us. That never fails. when we have that thought in mind and we reciprocate to him, not only will we have a happy Chodesh and a happy Purim, we'll have a mitzvah b'gola lios b'simcha tamid. Shall have a good Shabbos, a good Chodesh. And mishnichras adam marvin b'simcha. Thank you very much. Have a good night.